Okay, welcome everybody. I'm Julie Taylor from Blue Ninja Business Support, and with me today I've got Vanessa Paisley from Paisley Communication. I nearly said that right. Paisley Communication. How are you
That's
doing
right.
today, Vanessa?
Yeah, I'm fine, thanks, Julie. How are you?
I'm really well, thank you. We're just doing this video today for International Women's Day. We met online via a coaching Facebook group. And Vanessa's in the UK and I'm in the Netherlands, and we just rubbed along quite well and got to know each other quite well through that group and really supported each other as we went through a process. And then in turn, Vanessa became our client and we updated our website, so that was excellent. So I just thought it was interesting to get to know a bit more about Vanessa, her journey, how she got started in her business. And experiences of working internationally and being a business owner and being a woman. That's a lot of things there. So, Vanessa, tell us a bit about yourself. Tell us about where you've lived and worked over the years.
Yeah, so I'm now based in the UK. I've actually come full circle. So I lived in Austria for 23 years, I think it was, all in all. Studied German, ended up going back to Austria when I finished my degree. I worked sort of teaching English for a while, translating, worked as a journalist, and then probably about, maybe 15 years ago, I moved into this field of cross-cultural communication, which is, it's an ever-growing field, really. So we're now it's all about how do we work together. You know, the Dutch are direct, the British are indirect, the Japanese are even more indirect than the British, these kind of things, and how international teams have to deal with all these differences and obviously create some synergy out of all of this diversity, because that's the big challenge. You know, we all know that we need lots of diverse thought and different, approaches to solving problems, but actually communicating, and especially online at the moment, is quite difficult because you can't really read between the lines. So that's the field I work in. I speak English and German, and I do the training in both of those languages. But now I'm back home in rainy UK. Coming back has been quite a shock, but I'm getting there.
How long have you been back in the UK?
It's been almost 8 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was strange because I think if you've been away for so long, you almost have, we call it reverse culture shock.
Mm-hmm.
So you might have had culture shock arriving in the Netherlands. I got reverse culture shock coming back to the UK. And I think some of it was to do with how dark it is. So little things, you get used to the weather being slightly different. Even in Austria, there's more snow and it's colder. Mm-hmm. But I suppose it's further south, so it doesn't get so dark so quickly in the winter. Mm-hmm. And yeah, Brexit was a bit of an issue, I suppose. I didn't expect that to happen, but I don't want to talk about politics now.
No, let's not. And so Paisley Communication set up about 15 years ago, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
And what drove you to set up Paisley Communication? What was your motivation behind that?
Yeah, I suppose it was, I've been in the language training industry for quite a while, and I kind of wanted to switch and move into communications in general. So how do I communicate with people from different parts of the world? And at that point, I decided to sort of found this company. And I suppose I've been self-employed since I was really young. So it wasn't like really a new company. It was more like giving it a name and trying to branch out into another field rather than always being put in the language training sector. I wanted to expand a bit.
What sort of change have you seen over the time that you've been in business?
I suppose I've seen a lot more, obviously virtual. Mm-hmm. I suppose I was one of those trainers sort of pre-COVID that always liked to do everything face to face. So that's changed a lot. Also, I think people's English as a global language has really improved. So that might be thanks to people like me, but also it means that the Anglo-Saxons have got really bad at learning languages because everyone's English has improved. It's a double-edged sword. I should be able to speak English if I'm teaching it. But yeah, so that's changed. And I think these days it's much easier to have a kind of more flexible career than maybe when I started out. So in Austria, it was really hard to be a solopreneur.
Okay.
There's a lot of paperwork setting up a company in Austria. In the UK, that has been a little bit easier, but I think that's the nature of the UK. Really, it's quite easy to establish yourself as an entrepreneur.
And have you had any specific challenges from being a woman?
Yeah, I was thinking about this question, and it's funny, isn't it? Because I think since I've had my company, I wouldn't say I have, but I think I had to carve this career for myself as an independent, like self-employed trainer and coach, because I was a woman and I had children in Austria where there wasn't very much childcare. So I had to kind of think, well, what can I do to be able to be at home with my kids, but also have a decent career? I didn't want to be a stay-at-home mum, and therefore that really wasn't very helpful. Do you know what I mean? Having childcare that was open from 9 till 11:30 once or twice a week. I mean, what could I do? Yeah.
That's a long coffee break, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not even a trip to the gym and a coffee break. So I would say, I have seen some challenges like that. But now I'm just so glad that I was around for my kids, I suppose, and that they are bilingual. It was really important to me. But, on the other hand, I think it could have been made a bit easier for women to work. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think women need right now to grow and succeed?
Yeah, so I think women need to support each other, that's for sure. But I also think, we need to sort of take more action, do things. We need to be quite disciplined with our time. I think, we are the famous multitaskers, and you often see people doing lots of things. Like, it was like when I came to you, I was doing my own website, but I got to the stage where I was like, I can't get it to the level I want it to be. I can't add this on. So you've got to start outsourcing. So I think, women have to also learn, if they're like entrepreneurs like I am, to invest in different people, because, then you help me and then I help you and we promote each other. So I think this collective of women's really strong. And also you've got to invest in yourself. So further training. I'm always doing, different kinds of courses. How can I link things? I think women are really good at linking up different areas of expertise. And I think, even if you're in this field, well, why don't you do a course in something else and see if you can link it? There's always a gap in the market, especially for working remotely at the moment as a communications training. It could go in so many different directions. So I think this togetherness and support, but also asking for help when you need it.
Yeah, definitely. And that can be a little bit uncomfortable to start with, but everybody's feeling the same way. Everybody's in a little bubble thinking, I'm trying, I'm doing this, I don't like doing this, or this is just getting a little bit out of control. And just putting your hand up and asking for some help, or even to just bounce some ideas off, and people going, I feel exactly the same way. And it just gives you that sort of you're right togetherness, and it's supporting each other. And it can feel a little bit strange, especially if you find somebody that's almost a competitor, but you never know where those relationships are going to go. I know quite a few stories, which I won't go into today, of situations where people have met and gone, oh, we're competitors, but things have worked their way out. So as we were talking about just before we started the interview, there's room for everybody. So just reach out and ask for help. So I want to thank you so much, and it's been lovely to touch base with you. I know we haven't spoken since last year, so I'm sure we'll stay in touch, and really appreciate your time today. Thank you very much, Vanessa.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me today, Julie. It's been a pleasure.
Wonderful. Thank you.